as this one is a little goes live on YouTube and LinkedIn, which I don't think anyone actually watches this live. So that's all good. But trying to do a little daily thing, talking about something. Last week I talked a little more about soil health. I'm trying to put all that together in my newsletter to go out and what that generally all means with everything. But I don't think I'll do a theme this week, just kind of talking about stuff. Today, I was just kind of thinking, okay, what's something going on? Well, clearly there's a lot of chaos going on in ag, and I'm kind of on this mission to, as always, but more so recently, to want to help others kind of figure out, with the way the ag economy is, how can ag technology fit in better? What can be changed with the story? What are the problems that it can solve or help with? And there are thousands of nuanced ways to do all that. But but I'll get into that just over time. And I got some other big articles going out, and some bigger things that I hope kind of raise the awareness too. But today I want to talk around something that a lot of people talk about in agriculture, kind of the sunk cost fallacy, where you just keep on spending money to try to get like the same results, and it never happens, and you should just stop and get out, more or less. um, with ag technology, that's how a lot of I think farmers have felt over the years. Is they saw all these things, it's all marketed out there. It's like, hey, you can do this, save yield, efficiencies, blah blah blah, make more yield, do better, fight to feed the world, all that crap. Um, and people didn't quite get the results. The promises didn't stand up to reality, or there's a slew of other things. It's not that some of these things necessarily didn't work. They maybe were not educated properly with. I just noticed my mic here. Um, Things weren't educated properly. People didn't, I don't know, just use the stuff correctly. But that's something we got to get around here, because you can. It Those thoughts that farmers have are valid on that. At the same time, we just got to probably approach the story a little different in what some of these things, what they really entail, what they can do. And we also have to remember that right now, more than ever, farmers are looking for things that are going to, save them money and give them efficiencies. They're on the hunt, and I think they're a little more accepting. But it's also a troublesome thing to get anyone to put money into something that is new and different, even if it potentially can do these things. And we got to get them away from that mindset that, oh, I'm just going to put too much money into this and it's not going to work. We have to find ways to showcase better how they work. And it's not some big, beautiful, broad tool that can be sold everywhere. It's really you got to find the kind of right niche in areas, and maybe the right dealer, the right agronomist, the right this and that. And that's not easy. But if you have them, really focus on them and push to get that understanding out, and come at it with maybe a little different way. It's kind of, let's reduce risk here so you don't have these sunken costs, so that your reality of what this tool isn't almost made up in your own head. Because a lot of farmers, they don't see a result right away. They're like, oh, it just doesn't work. We have to illustrate better how these things work and where, instead of just selling it off and saying, oh, here it is, it should do this. This is what it did for another farmer. that's not as good. Like, you gotta find the fit a little more intricately, and all of that is hard. I don't expect anyone to figure that out right away if they're new to it. The best ones have, and they continue. Um, but there can be doom and gloom here right now too. So I think it's just important to really try to understand how you're getting some of these things out there and what that entails. You got to get your costs in line too. And there's all sorts of tech that can make things easier for you too. AI, blah, 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 I suppose. Well, we got to be careful. Can't get ahead of ourselves, but we do have to push forward. So that's just a little talk for today. Um, let's get farmers away from that sunk cost fallacy on AgTech. It's needed for them more than it is for everybody, which also makes it important for you if you're in that space. But we'll talk to you later.